Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am Blake Pezzarello representing Team 10 to address food insecurity among post-secondary students through innovation while using tried and true methods of the past. From seed to plate, let's do it. We'll cut to the chase, kicking it off with the executive summary. It's no secret, food insecurity is a significant problem among Canadians due to the rising cost of living and inflation. But what if there was a solution to address the situation? What if we could provide students with access to fresh, nutritious produce, free of cost and accessible on campus? Through the implementation of raised community garden beds, this is reality, no longer just a dream. These garden beds each cost less than $3,000 per unit annually, and costs would decrease with each additional unit. This approach would not inconvenience students or require them to travel out of their way to access nutritious food, but would add value to their education with an app for monitoring, training, and awareness, along with student volunteers and a single employee for the off-season, would ensure food security and sustainability. Community garden beds offer a practical solution to address food insecurity among Canadian students, providing them with free access to fresh, nutritious produce on campus. Food security is served with a side of sustainability. Now that you've got a general overview of the idea, let's break it down. First, we clearly identified the problem. Food insecurity is a significant issue which affects everyone, but in particular, post-secondary students Canada-wide. With reports showing sharp increases in food insecurity rates among students, action is necessary, so we have tailored our garden bed solution to students, rolling out at Ontario Tech West Village residents. Once we fully understand our problem, we laid out the facts and asked some important questions. Are you concerned about the well-being of students, especially in light of reports showing food insecurity among post-secondary students? Did you know over 60% of Canadian post-secondary students reported that they couldn't afford to eat a balanced or nutritious meals in the fall semester, and that over 50% relied on low-cost foods to avoid running out of money? Those numbers are staggering, and there's no question this needs to be addressed. According to the National Student Food Insecurity Report, over half of Canadian post-secondary students experience food insecurity, with 20.7% severely food insecure, and another 36.1% moderately food insecure. These numbers indicate a 39% increase in food insecurity among post-secondary students since the onset of COVID-19. Additionally, gender and racial minorities are disproportionately affected, with Indigenous, Black, Middle Eastern, and Latinx students. Yes, that's right. More than 60% of Canadian post-secondary students cannot afford nutritious meals, and that number is only increasing. What can we do about it? How about our raised plant beds? Now the ideas were flowing, and we had many solutions, but what are the barriers? And what brought us back to garden beds? When we worked our way backwards, we thought, what can we start tomorrow, reasonably, without $1 million investment? But it's still scalable with a multi-million-dollar investment, and will grow exponentially. Healthy options are expensive, but our idea is relatively cheap and easy to implement, with just $2,834 covering an entire year, but just $98 is needed to start, and $24 per month per unit, and $204 per month in labor, assuming a healthy wage of $17 per hour at 12 hours per week, which will decrease as more units are added, since more than one employee can staff up to 22 stations easily when clubs are uninterested or in the off-season and when the campus is closed. We will employ a newcomer to Canada who is motivated to work, may not speak the best English, but this is a great opportunity to integrate in a low-stress environment while learning, earning a decent wage, and the position is flexible enough to have another job too. That brings me to the community garden beds. In planning, we have a 4 by 8 foot frame. These will easily fit in any road verge, where the average depth is 8 feet, so there's 2 feet on each side, plenty of room not to get in the way. Plus, they're raised, so anyone can use them. Kids, people with wheelchairs, and older folks won't hurt themselves bending down to the ground to reach. Plus, animals can't get at it because it's raised, so there will be less shrinkage. For funding, it's a low cost of entry. We will pull on school sustainability budgets to start, and we'll have an ongoing revenue by selling extra preservatives and produce going to waste to grocery stores. Further, sponsorship on the side of the garden beds will be a source of revenue to fund ongoing expenses. Collaboration in the community will simply be an upside of the project. And cameras will connect to the app for streaming and monitoring for abuse. Seems like an all-in-all win-win with unlimited scalability, if you ask me. But everything that grows is free to take, so the accessibility is great for anyone in need, and it's nutritious, of course. We have an educational factor, as these can be used for learning in schools anywhere, and they're still maintained in the times of the year that clubs and people are less motivated to help, like cold winter days like today, or if it rains, or even really hot days in the summer. Of course, sustainability is there as well, as we're adding oxygen producers and promoting healthy lifestyles among students. Water collection in the bottom will allow for the units to effectively be self-sustainable, with just a bit of help from our employee and clubs. no harm to the environment, and contributing to the ecosystem. How can it get any better? Student involvement is key in this integration. With regards to labor, school clubs and individuals volunteering will take care of most of the work to man the machine and keep it operating, and we'll have one employee working 12 hours per week who can manage up to 22 units. Our first units will be placed outside West Village, one of the campus residences at Ontario Tech. Clubs are invited to take care of the crop, and when the idea is extended to education as a tool, community garden beds not only help with short-term food insecurity, but will help bring back homegrown food projects. The app is an educational tool, allowing students to learn about sustainable practices and how to grow their own food, creating an impact beyond our beds alone. Education is power, and by bringing students together through shared gardening, they will build relationships and work collaboratively towards a common goal to end food insecurity everywhere. Of course, I must walk you through the app. Check it out. You open it up, and you've got a few options. You can see who we are, a little bit about the creators, click on them, and read about us. The body of the app has tips and tricks with links to articles and a place to read all about it. What do you think? Next, the information section of the app, arguably the most important, leads to a stream of the plant beds. Clicking on any of the food items takes you to a stream where these are being grown, so you can track progress. And of course, with the focus on learning, videos of maintenance and care will be added, and this can be further expanded as more garden beds are put out around the world. Now, there's no time to wait around. Food insecurity is not going away on its own. Let's work together to take action and create a healthier, more sustainable future for students in Canada with this tangible, actionable, sustainable, and scalable solution. Join us in advocating for garden beds on campus and help make a difference in the fight against food insecurity. It's time to make it happen. Thank you for your attention. I really appreciate your time, and we're really open to questions and discussions. Let's make it happen, guys. Thank you.